Welcome back, everyone. We're here for an exciting season of At the Table. I'm your host, Chef Troy Conway, and we have a lot of exciting things for you this season. Today, we're going to start off with some very bold, robust flavors. And you're probably wondering why I have a cup of coffee here. Yes, I'm a coffee drinker throughout the day, but we're actually going to include coffee grounds in our part of our recipe. One of our sponsors today is Harry & David. Nice, bold coffee blend. We're going to use that as a part of our rub for a 12-ounce ribeye. We're going to pair that with some blanched broccoli and with a little fried onions, and then we're going to have that with some parsley buttered potatoes. So let's get set up and we'll jump right to it. Okay, everyone, we're going to start to prepare our dish. Like I said, we're going to use a 12-ounce ribeye. Ribeye is one of my favorite cuts of meat. It's marbled throughout. It's got a little fat, which gives it that extra flavor, and it's almost as tender as a filet. So you get the best of both worlds, tender and flavor. We're going to glove up a little bit first here on one hand, just so I don't have to keep changing back and forth as we proceed. Like I said, we're going to use coffee grounds in our recipe today as a part of our rub. We're also going to include Badia Himalayan salt. I love Badia products. I'm able to find them in my grocery store in Maryland. Gives a lot of variety. They have a wide variety of flavors. So we're going to use the Himalayan salt. We'll put that on first. This is a fine ground Himalayan salt. You can get it a little more coarse ground, but Himalayan salt is a good for a rub like we're using it today. It's also good as a finishing product, and we're going to use that later on as well. Coffee grounds, that's something I started doing a few years ago. It gives it a nice, smoky, robust flavor. Just going to press that down a little bit. We're going to use some garlic powder. Just a pinch of kosher salt. Flip that over. We're going to do the same thing. Pink salt. Coffee grounds. Harry & David's also a wonderful company. They do the shipping boxes for holidays and things. That's where I first heard about it. The coffee was a nice addition. We'll do a little bit on the edge here as well, just to get an all-around season on our steak. And we're going to grill this steak today. We're actually going to use a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. That gives it a little more beefy, all-around seasoning and punch to your steak. It's a great way to win over friends and family when you make this steak right here for dinner. All right, so we got that ready. I'll set that to the side. We're going to prepare our broccoli. A lot of different ways you can cut broccoli. Once you get the big part of the stalk off, you can just cut all the way through. And then kind of divide it as the florets allow, and use your knife as needed. I'm gonna put that back on our plate. You can also, if your knife is sharp enough, just kind of hack away at it a little bit. Lost one there. If you have a lot of broccoli to do, that's a good way to do it. Clean up at the end. All right, so we're pretty much prepared. We'll cut that onion in a moment. Let's go ahead and get our steak on the grill. Okay, we're cutting this onion. You can use this as a finishing product like we are today. If you were sauteing your steak, you could put this in with the steak as well to build that flavor while it's cooking. We're going to finish our steak on the grill today. So these onions will be on top as a finishing product. All right. We'll get that ready and we'll go back to saute our onions and grill our steak. Before we start with our steak, we're going to season our grill just to prevent any sticking that might occur. It's a very easy process. You can do it inside or outside. We're going to take a dry towel, just get a little bit of oil on that. Then we're going to brush that directly on the grates. All right, you can do this before, you can do it after. That'll help keep it ready for the next time you go to use it. After you clean it, you can re-season it. All right, so we'll take our steak. I like my steaks medium. Obviously, you can cook it to whatever temperature you find convenient for yourself or for your guests. While our steak is cooking, we're going to get our onions prepared to saute, and we're going to blanch our broccoli. First, we're going to get our butter parsley potatoes working. They're just some yellow potatoes. Small ones are nice. I like to cook those whole, and we just add those to boiling water and season them as they come out. All right. We have butter. We're going to put a little bit of butter in our pan for our onions, just to give them a nice saute. And when we flip our steak, we'll put our broccoli in to blanch. We talked about blanching in the pilot episode. Blanching is adding a vegetable to boiling water for a short amount of time to bring out the color, the vibrancy. It also makes it tender, but still crisp. So it makes a nice presentation and a good addition to any dish. We're going to turn our ribeye a quarter turn, see if we can get some good grill marks on here. I'm going to start our onions in the pan without dropping the broccoli in. And again, when we flip the ribeye, we'll put the broccoli in as well. We're going to let this start cooking and then we'll be right back. All right, folks, we've got our ribeye flipped. We've got some good grill marks and caramelization going on there. We're going to go ahead and add our broccoli to our boiling water. Gonna put that right in. It won't take long at all. And we'll see that color change from before and after. So set that there. Got great looking color on our onions here. We just did a little salt and pepper mixture on that. And that's just going to be a good topper for our steak. Potatoes are getting nice and tender. We're going to go ahead and turn those off and let them sit. You see this ribeye, you can see the coffee grounds that we put on there, but you're not going to notice that as you chew or as you bite like you might think you would. That process of cooking it on the high heat really helps that, but instills the flavor into the steak. And we're just going to take a peek. You don't have to use a thermometer, but since we have one, we'll go ahead and take a look. We're shooting for about 130 to 135. We're going to take that off and let it rest. We're at 128. So in just a minute, we'll pull the ribeye. I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned a long time ago working in the steakhouse. If you don't have a thermometer, you can use your hand as a gauge for how you like your steak. So if you like medium well, medium rare, you just use the open palm and you use the meaty part by your thumb. So right now it would be rare, and then you touch your index finger would be medium rare, middle finger would be medium, ring finger would be medium well, and then your pinky would be well done. Doesn't always work, but it'll get you pretty close if you're in a pinch and you don't have a thermometer. And it's a nice little trick to show off with. All right, so we're gonna pull our ribeye. We're gonna let that rest before we cut it and plate it. Got that good color on both sides, man. All right, so we're gonna let that rest. Resting allows the juices in your steak from where you just heated it up, the juices are moving around very fast and those molecules. So you're just gonna let that rest to slow that process down. So when you cut it, the juice doesn't go all over your plate, cutting board, whatever you're using. Okay, so we're gonna set that there. We'll turn our onions off as well. Our broccoli is getting a brighter green. When we pull that out of here, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's also made those stalks a little tender, easier to chew. We're gonna get our potatoes first. Oops. Sometimes when I do these buttered parsley potatoes, I give them a little squeeze with the tongs just to break them a little bit. Really let that butter that we're about to add to it seep down in there. So we're going to take the same butter that we use for the onions. Just going to drop a pat or two of that in there. When we move back to the table, we'll season that up, hit it with some parsley, and then we'll use it to plate up. All right, pull our broccoli. Nice and tender, much brighter green. That's all we need right there. You can see the color change. Texture is very nice, very light. And we'll season that as well and plate it up. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We have parsley on our potatoes, a little salt and pepper in the butter. Just gonna let the heat from the potatoes melt the butter and the salt and everything, get that together. I'm gonna go ahead and plate those up. Again, doing your potatoes this way makes it a nice rustic presentation, ready to eat. Actually, use that. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil on our broccoli, just a little bit. And we're gonna use that pink Himalayan salt again. Like I said before, it's a good finisher addition right before you plate up. So get that ready. I don't know about you, but I'm already hungry. I haven't got to the steak. And we have our ribeye. Like I said, I like my steak medium. This is a little more medium rare, but with a ribeye, it's not not off-putting to me anyway. Again, you can cook it as long as you like. So we're gonna set that there. There you have it. Bon appetit. We're gonna just gently add our fried onions. Put those right on there. That little butter and onion flavor won't hurt. And there you have it. Coffee rubbed ribeye, buttered parsley potatoes, and blanched broccoli. Thank you for our sponsors, Harry and David Coffee, and Badia for their pink Himalayan salt. Thank you for watching At the Table. I'm your host, Chef Troy Conway. We'll see you on the next episode. God bless.